A car accident hits you out of nowhere, and your first instinct is to apologize, skip the ambulance, or just drive off and move on. But those split-second decisions, they can wreck your injury claim or even land you in legal trouble here in Florida. I'm Doug Burnetti, a personal injury attorney that's been handling personal injury claims for over 30 years, and I'm going to walk you through the 3 biggest mistakes I see after crashes so that you don't lose out on the compensation you deserve, or worse, end up being blamed for something that wasn't your fault. Number 1, do not leave the scene even if it seems minor. Let's jump right in. The first and probably the biggest mistake people make after a car accident in Florida is leaving the scene, especially when it looks like just a little fender bender. You might be late for work, or your adrenaline's pumping and you feel totally fine. Or maybe the other driver is waving you off saying, "We're both okay, no big deal." Trust me, don't do it. Why is this so important? Under Florida law, leaving the scene of an accident, even a minor one, is or can be a crime. If there are injuries and you drive away, you could be charged with even a felony. Even if it's just property damage, leaving can still land you with a potential misdemeanor on your record. And yes, the law applies even if you weren't at fault. Now, most people think, but nobody was hurt and we both agreed to leave. The problem is what happens 20 minutes later if the other driver realizes their back hurts, or their car has more damage than they thought, or maybe they decide to blame everything on you. If you left, you've lost your chance to protect yourself. No police report, no official record of what happened. That's when things get messy. Let me share a quick story. I had a client, Mark, who rear-ended someone at a red light. They both got out, looked at the cars, just a scratch, and the other driver insisted, "I'm fine, let's not bother with insurance." Mark agreed. 2 weeks later, he got a letter from an attorney demanding thousands of dollars for a neck injury that was supposedly occurred in this accident. Because there was no police report, no statement at the scene, it turned out into a he said, she said situation, which is rarely a good situation to be in. Mark spent months fighting a claim that would have been simple to avoid if he just stayed, made a call, and waited for the officers. So what should you do instead? Stay at the scene. Check if everyone's okay. Call 911 even for minor accidents. Wait for the police to arrive and make a report. In Florida, if there's any injury or damage over $500, you're required to report it anyway. And honestly, $500 doesn't buy much when it comes to car repairs. Even if you're scared, worried about a ticket, or the other driver tries to talk you out of it, resist the urge. That police report is your safety net. It documents the scene, the people involved, and the facts. That way, if something comes up later, you're protected. Do not tough it out or refuse medical attention. Second big mistake, toughing it out. Picture this. You get into a crash. Maybe your neck feels a little tight, or you've got a headache, but you tell yourself, "I'm fine, I don't want to hassle with this or get an ambulance bill." You decline medical care, shake hands, and go home. Here's the problem. Florida law has a strict rule about medical treatment after a car accident. If you want your personal injury protection, or PIP benefits, that's the insurance coverage you paid for to help with the injuries, you must get medical care within 14 days of your crash. Miss that window and your insurance may pay you nothing for your injuries, even if you're genuinely hurt. But that's not even the biggest reason. Many injuries don't show up right away. I've seen clients walk away from accidents feeling just a little sore, only to wake up the next morning barely able to move. Concussions, back injuries, even internal bleeding can take hours or days sometimes to really show symptoms. By the time you realize you need help, it can be harder to prove the injury claim. Let me give you a real example. Susan, a client of mine, was rear-ended at a light. She felt fine, so she didn't go to the ER, just waited to get home. 2 weeks later, her shoulder hurt so badly she could barely lift her arm. When she tried to file a claim, the insurance company pointed out that she didn't see a doctor within 14 days, and they denied her PIP benefits. In the legal world, we see this all the time. So what should you do? Let the first responders check you out, even if you feel okay. If you decline an ambulance, at least go see your regular doctor, an urgent care doctor, or even a walk-in clinic within a day or 2. Tell them about the accident and any symptoms, no matter how minor. That creates a medical record tying your injury to the crash. It also keeps your options open for any claims down the road. Don't worry about looking weak or dramatic. You're not wasting anyone's time. You're protecting your health and your rights. If you wait too long or skip medical care completely, you might lose the chance to recover what you're owed. Always err on the side of caution and get checked out. Number 3, do not admit fault or guess about what happened. This is one of the hardest because our instinct in stressful situations is to apologize or explain. Maybe you're shaken up or you think you made a mistake. The other driver might even pressure you for an explanation or apology. But here's the deal. Anything you say at the scene can be used against you later. Insurance companies look for any reason to deny or reduce your claim. If you blurt out, "I'm sorry I didn't see you," or "I was running late," that can be twisted into an admission of fault, even if the other driver was speeding or distracted. A lot of people believe being honest means admitting blame right away. But in a car accident, you might not know all the facts. Maybe the other driver was on their phone. Maybe a stop sign was hidden. Maybe there was a mechanical issue. Florida law uses a comparative fault system, which means both drivers can share blame. But if you admit full responsibility, you make it much harder to get a fair outcome. Let me illustrate with a story. I once helped a young woman, Alexis, who lightly tapped another car at a stoplight. She immediately got out and apologized, saying, "I'm so sorry, I wasn't paying attention." She just meant to be polite. But the other driver used those words as proof that Alexis was 100% at fault, even though later evidence showed the other driver had cut her off. That apology cost her thousands. So what should you say? Stick to the facts. Exchange information. Describe the damage and answer police questions honestly, but don't speculate or admit blame. Say, "This is what happened as far as I remember," or "I need to check with my attorney." If the other driver presses you, be polite but firm and say, "Let's wait for the police to sort it out." You're not being rude, you're being smart. A quick note, this also applies after the scene when the insurance companies start calling. Don't give a recorded statement without knowing your rights. Don't guess about your injuries or the sequence of events. If you're not sure, say so. Better yet, talk to a Florida personal injury attorney first. We know the tricks insurance adjusters use to trip you up and will help you avoid those costly mistakes. What we've learned and why it's crucial. Let's recap. After a crash in Florida, 3 things you absolutely must not do. Number 1, don't leave the scene even if it looks minor. Number 2, don't refuse or delay medical care even if you feel okay. Number 3, don't admit fault or guess what happened even if you think you're being helpful. Each of these mistakes can wreck your chances of a fair insurance claim, or worse, land you in some legal trouble. I've seen good people lose out on thousands of dollars or even get charged with a crime, all because they didn't know these simple rules. You click this video because you want to protect yourself after an accident, and you're already ahead of most people just by learning what not to do. Remember, a car accident is stressful and confusing, but you don't have to go through it alone. When in doubt, call a Florida personal injury attorney who knows the system and can fight for your rights. What's next? Protecting your claim if you're not at fault. If you found this helpful, you need to check out our next video, Not at Fault Car Accident. Claims processes in a nutshell. It breaks down in plain English what to do if the other driver is to blame, how the process really works in Florida, what insurance companies don't want you to know, and the exact steps to protect your claim. You don't want to miss this. Your rights and your money could depend on it. See you over there.